What if I told you that stupidity isn't about intelligence, it's about damage, and every day people do things that sabotage their future and never even realize it? Not because they're lazy, not because they're bad, but because they break these 5 laws without knowing it. And the most dangerous part? They think they're being smart while they do it. These aren't just abstract ideas from a forgotten essay. These are laws of human behavior that govern your life whether you know them or not. So today, we're not doing a book report. We're taking these 5 brutal truths and turning them into a code of conduct. Because if you want to protect your time, your energy, your future, you need to understand the difference between acting with power and acting with stupidity. And by the time we hit the 5th law, you'll start noticing things in people that you can't unsee. Let's break it down. Let's start with the first one, the one almost nobody sees coming, because it hides in plain sight. Law 1 says this: you will always underestimate how many stupid people exist. Not some of the time, always. That means at work, at home, in your circle, and sometimes in the mirror. See, most people walk through life assuming others think like them, that people operate with logic, that they care about outcomes. Wrong. Some people make decisions that have no upside. They burn bridges, lose jobs, wreck relationships, and learn nothing from it. They're not broken. They're not evil. They're just operating without awareness. And every time you assume otherwise, you hand power to someone who doesn't even know they're holding it. Don't do it. Don't trust blindly. Don't expect alignment just because you're being clear. Don't assume someone else is playing the same game. And most of all, don't forget to check your own moves. Because when you stop paying attention, you become the person you would have warned yourself about. And here's the twist. Most people will keep getting burned by the same types because they refuse to believe the problem is that common. But you're not most people. You're starting to see patterns. And once you stop underestimating others, you'll start recognizing the one you've underestimated most, yourself, which brings us to something even more dangerous. Because it doesn't just hide in other people, it hides in you. Here's where it gets tricky, because Law 2 messes with everything you think you know about intelligence. The chance that someone is stupid has nothing to do with their education, their job, their background, or how smart they seem. In other words, there are PhDs doing stupid things, millionaires making moves that destroy trust, geniuses who can't hold a conversation without self-destructing, because this isn't about intelligence, it's about impact. Stupidity is when your actions hurt others and don't even help you. Think about that. It's not evil. It's not selfish. It's worse. It's wasted energy that pulls everything down with it. So ask yourself, are you doing things that actually move you forward? Or are you doing what feels smart without checking the cost? Because you can be brilliant and still break everything around you. The difference is self-awareness. It's being able to step back and ask, is this building something? Or is this just noise dressed up as progress? Most people hide behind credentials, titles, accolades. They tell themselves, I'm too smart to mess this up. But you know better. It's not the size of the processor, it's the quality of the code. And when someone smart starts doing damage, you've got a bigger problem than ignorance. You've got blind confidence. Because what happens when that confidence starts hurting others? That's where we're headed next. Now let's talk about the most dangerous kind of stupidity, the kind that spreads without a plan and leaves destruction behind. Law 3 states this: a stupid person is someone who causes losses to others while gaining nothing themselves. And sometimes they even hurt themselves in the process. Let that sink in. A stupid person hurts others and themselves. This isn't about being clumsy or forgetful. This is about self-sabotage that spreads like wildfire. You've seen it. People who ruin their relationships just to win an argument. People who lash out at co-workers because they're insecure. People who cheat, lie, burn bridges, and tear things down, even though it makes their own life worse. And here's the twist. They often think they're winning. They tell themselves it's control, or strength, or standing their ground. But it's not. It's short-term emotion over long-term direction. And if you want to see it in the real world, look at Travis Kalanick, the original CEO of Uber. He built an empire from nothing, disrupted an entire industry. Vision, undeniable. Execution, ruthless. But somewhere along the way, the behavior shifted. Fights with regulators, toxic culture at the top, and one by one, he started torching the very structure he built. Eventually, he was forced to step down. Why? Because being a visionary doesn't protect you from self-sabotage. Being smart doesn't protect you from breaking this law. If your success costs you everything that matters, that's not power. That's stupidity in disguise. You don't win by fighting everyone. You win by building what they can't destroy. So here's the test. If your success comes at the cost of trust, peace, or clarity, it's not success. It's sabotage dressed like strength. Most people don't realize when they've become the villain in their own story, but you're starting to ask better questions. Because if you're not sabotaging yourself, you might still be stuck in one of 4 dangerous roles, and only one of them leads to actual power. Law 4, the 4 types of people. This next one hits a little deeper, because it's not just about what people do, it's about who they are becoming. There are 4 types of people in this world, and knowing which one you are, that's the game changer. Let's break it down. The helpless. They help others, but hurt themselves. They give their time, their energy, their heart to people who wouldn't do the same. They mean well, but they keep losing. The bandit. They win by stealing from others. They manipulate. They drain. They win short term, but no one forgets who they are. The stupid. They lose and make you lose too. They cause chaos without meaning to. They think they're just being real, but they're wrecking the room with every move. And then, the intelligent. They win, and help others win too. They move with clarity. They speak with purpose. They don't need to steal. They don't need to bleed. They build value. Most people bounce between helpless and bandit, depending on how tired, how hurt, or how desperate they feel. But not you. You're not here to play small roles in other people's stories. You're here to lead, to leave things better than you found them. You're here to build something bigger than ego. Travis Kalanick learned that the hard way, but he's not the only one who's had to rebuild. So now the question is, which one are you becoming? Not what your bio says, not what your Instagram shows, but what your actions reveal when no one's watching. This law doesn't care what you call yourself. It watches what you do. And once you see what type you've become, you'll understand why the 5th law is the one most people never recover from. And finally, the law that changes how you see danger forever. The 5th law says, stupidity is more dangerous than malice. But why? Because evil has a goal. Evil can be outsmarted. It can be predicted. It follows a plan. But stupid is chaos. Stupid is that person who means well, but wrecks your momentum. They share bad advice. They make impulsive moves. They say the wrong thing at the worst moment. Not to hurt you, just because they're not paying attention. And if you're the one moving without awareness, you're not evil, but you're still dangerous. Most people fear betrayal, but it's the clueless ones who leave the biggest scars. Malice is a loaded weapon. Stupidity is someone swinging a bat with their eyes closed. So don't just check your heart. Check your effect. Look around at your wake. Is it clean or is it messy? Are you building trust or just hoping people give you the benefit of the doubt? Because at the end of the day, no one cares what you meant. They remember what you did. And that brings us to one last shift. The mindset that flips the game completely. These 5 laws aren't just theories. They're your wake-up call. Because if you break them, you don't just lose. You pull others down with you. And most people, they'll never know what hit them. They'll keep trusting the wrong voices, keep calling sabotage strength, keep calling chaos just being honest. But you get to see it. You get to change it. You get to write a different story. Most people stay blind. You're training your eyes because the world doesn't need more noise, more drama, more ego masked as wisdom. It needs people who are aware, people who build, people who know when to speak and when to pause. You don't act to impress. You act to align with your values, your vision, your future self. Walk like someone who doesn't need to prove it. Think like someone who's already earned it. Move like someone who never breaks the laws of stupidity. Think, choose, and build. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs you.